was a shadow in the government's game. Pawn as a child with no face and no name. They stole my past to leave me cold and alone. Always searching for a place I could call home. I was lost in the dark, just a tool in the hand, till she pulled me close and helped me understand. Now the fire inside is starting to rise. I can see the truth through 1,000 lies. Now I tear through the veil, leave holes in the sky. I can read every thought in the blink of an eye. Danica, my witch, she's the magic in me. Yeah, I finally found what they took from me. With a hellhound beside me, I'm standing my ground. No longer a ghost that's never been found. In the dead of the night, I can hear the call. All the ghosts of my past scratching through the wall. My eyes change colors, the power has grown. With Crowley the Hound, I'm never alone. I used to be hollow, a man made of glass, but now I am reclaiming every year that has passed. Every memory is falling right back into place. I know every name and I remember every face. Now I tear through the veil, leave holes in the sky. I can read every thought in the blink of an eye. Danica, my witch, she's the magic in me. Yeah, I finally found what they took from me. With a hell on beside me, I'm standing my ground. No longer a ghost that's never been found. I ain't running no more, yeah, I'm ready to fight. Gonna settle that debt in the depth of the night. They tried to break me, they tried to erase, but they can't hide the blood from the scars on my face. The veil is thin and the engine is hot. I'm taking back everything that they thought I forgot. Now I tear through the veil, leave holes in the sky. I can read every thought in the blink of an eye. Danica, my witch, she's the magic in me. Yeah, I finally found what they took from me. With a tailhound beside me, I'm standing my ground. No longer a ghost that's never been found. I remember it all now. Every single face, I'm calling for you in the dead of the night.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Henry. This here's the starting of 21, and I'm in the 3rd grade year of school. Won't be long, and 4th grade will be coming up. Well, things started changing up a little bit. The way they was extracting blood from my fingers and my toes. It went from the beginning all the way up to this time. Just scared the shit out of me before they would commit to taking blood. They decided to, for whatever reason, to change things up, and I think it was to see how quick these other spirits in me could be brought forth to handle whatever situation needed to be handled by whichever one. Well, sitting there in class that day and everything was going okay, and I'm trying not to do nothing wrong to get in trouble with that big, tall teacher. Later on, we become good friends. But she just put off this vibe that she wouldn't take no crap. And I wasn't about to give her none to find out how much crap she'd take. Because she was, and I mean this in a playful way, she was a big Amazon woman, great big tall woman. Dark red hair, And I only knew the one side of her then as the teacher. So I planned on staying on her good side, learning what I could, what I had to learn. And I figured, well, what the hell? The things that I didn't really think was important, I could kick them out as soon as I left the classroom. But during her class, I was going to pretend to learn everything and retain it up here. So, about 11:30 that day, she come back there with a little note saying that my mom was going to be running just a few minutes late. Good, maybe they forgot. So I took the note between my thumb and index finger because my fingertips was hurting. I was laid it down on the desk there and I was looking it over. Then she proceeded to tell me, she said, just to be on the safe side though, I'll let you leave at your normal time and you can go down and sit in the office. If nobody's in the library, you can go there and sit after you report to the library. That way they know where to find you. Okay? All the while hoping that they'd fucking forgot. Now, this started in my first grade year. And it started to become partly routine. I had no choice in the matter. One way or another, they was gonna bloodsuck me. So, I guess after a while, you just get figured this the way it is, and it just becomes routine. I ain't saying it didn't quit hurting, because it always hurt. If you know anybody that's went and got a tattoo, and they just had the outline done, or if you've had a tattoo and just had the outline done and go back to get it filled in, you know what I'm talking about. Personally, myself, when if I wanted a tattoo, I wanted them to do the whole thing in one setting. That way you get the pain over with and done. But if you go back, that skin's already tender. Well, when they go to do it the second time to shade everything in and add the colors, you're already hurt, and it just makes the pain that much more worse. Just a little word of advice. So, it got worse on this particular day. I go down and hand the secretary in the office my pass, and she goes, well, there's nobody in the library, I don't think. Come on, I'll go turn the light off for you. You can sit there and look at magazines, books, and we'll come over and let you know when she gets here. Okay. So, I kind of got lost in the books over there and found me a good one to sit there and skim through and read what I was interested in, not what I was told to read. Well, I got to noticing, because of the projects and traveling back in time, that the history we was being taught wasn't the history that was really real. So I'd be thumbing through and see something in there that I'd already experienced and be like, I can't believe they're doing this. I'd just go on to something else, in the book, or just grab another book. Just so everybody knows, they like to take and change the colors and the schemes and the situations on what really happened in history. I could go through history and tell you about the different things I've seen, but ain't nothing like in the books. But I won't bore you with that. But I'm just saying that our history ain't what we've been told. Wasn't long and I heard the door open, the secretary come in, and she said, "Your mom's here." She just pulled up. I said, "Okay," so on my way out, I kicked the light off, and she pulled the door shut, and I went out through the double doors and got in the car, not saying too awful much, because I knew what to expect. I was going to go up there, they was going to pull me in the room, the dark room, they was going to jump on me and scare the shit out of me and then slam me in a chair like I was just a rotten piece of meat being discarded. They was going to strap me down, take my shoes off, socks off, rub me with alcohol, and start sucking the blood, and it was going to hurt like a bitch, and it did. Make me really tired. But this day was different. I felt it all day long and just couldn't put my finger on it, but I trusted my feelings like I still do. When I think there's going to be a situation or I get a little vibe that something just ain't right, I'm walking into a surprise. Well, we pulled in and I followed my mom into the clinic/hospital. There's a little small building. I stood there behind her while she filled out this sheet and handed it to the nurse lady there behind the counter. And she was doing something behind the counter there, and I guess filing in notes or something. Who knows? She goes, "Well, if y'all want to, you can go ahead and take a seat." I thought, why can't we just get this painful situation over and done? Oh, no. It's like death row. I think they enjoy watching people suffer. I walked over and had a seat there on one of them cushy chairs. Rested on the table beside me there and grabbed a magazine, started looking through it, and trying to take my mind off of what I was getting ready to experience. Now, as you know, because I've told you before, these people in there, in that room that I was going to be taken to, is some cold-hearted son of a bitch and monsters. I hope that some of them burn in hell, if there is such a place. If there is, I'd donate a couple extra chunk of coal just to watch their ass burn. Miserable bastards. And to think that some of these people probably had children of their own, or even grandchildren. Sure, now I hope they didn't treat them like they did me. But anyway, wasn't just a few minutes, and they'll see you back there in the normal room. Like that room was set just aside for them to torture the fuck out of me. Blood sucked me like a couple of vampires. So again, I didn't get up in no big hurry. I put my magazine down and I said, "I don't know what the hell you're going back there for. You never get any further than down the hallway right to that door and you shove my ass in. You might as well just fuck stay out here." She proceeded to stick her finger in my face and tell me, "Don't you be getting smart. I can still whip your ass." I just looked at her and smiled. I said, "You mean Dad can? Your whipping don't hurt. I'll take 500 of your whippings compared to one of his. His is beating. Them ain't just ass whooping, they's beatings." So I turned around and made the corner there and headed down that fucking long hallway. On the left was a bunch of rooms, and them doors was always open, and there was senior citizens in there. Looked like they, I guess, bedridden, because they were strapped in bed, and as I walked past each door, it's like they come alive, like, oh my God, it's feeding time. They'd just stare and smile with wild eyes, like I was some kind of a goddamn steak. No matter how many times I've walked that hallway, I never got used to them people staring at me like I was some kind of piece of meat and they ain't ate in a couple of weeks. I've always wondered about that. The doors to the right was always closed. I knew how I'd been there since first grade, so I knew where I was going to. So I went with anticipation of what's going to happen. It's going to be the same shit, just different day. Well, I get down there and I notice the crack under the door. There's a dim light under that door. They always kept the hallway kind of darkened. Don't ask me why, I have no clue. It's like walking the Green Mile. So I pecked on the door. And, not to no surprise, it was the same son of a bitch that one of them that handed me off to my parents when they decided it was time for me to have parents. Raspy voice broke out. Come in! Okay, you mean old son of a bitch. I opened the door and peeked in there, and I seen it was dim lighting. It wasn't dark like it normally was. Normally it was pitch black, couldn't see shit. I stepped in, and there stood them two ugly fuckers. I said, you know, I may not be big as you all are, but I'm learning a thing or two. And one of these days, y'all gonna get your comeuppance. And I'm gonna be the one that delivers them motherfuckers on a golden platter. I'm gonna serve up a whole can of whoop ass on all of you. Come in here. So I went in and shut the door behind me. I said, you want to turn the fucking lights out? Or you just want to jump on me and scare the shit out of me? Getting pretty damn tired of it. There's a chair right there. I said, yeah, I know about the fucking chair. That son of a bitch walked over to me. Hit me in the gut. I mean, hit me hard. I should have puked, but I wasn't going to give the pricks a satisfaction. It doubled me over into the floor. I didn't say nothing. I got up, and there that son of a bitch was standing right over top of me. Okay. I'll take that for my smart-ass remark. That was true. He goes, I bet you're sick, aren't you? Let's not have as sick as you're going to be one of these days. Every dog get a day. One of these days, you're going to be the bone that this dog going to get. You just keep that in mind, motherfucker. I can take anything you fucking can dish out. And I said, besides that, you hit like a pussy anyway. My dad hit me, I wouldn't have got up off the fucking floor. I'd have still been down there gasping. But you hit like a little girl. He hit me again. And again, I hit the floor. This time when I got up, I noticed something. Like, now's my chance. Now, I'm not a violent person by no means. But every person has a breaking point. And I was right at that breaking point that day. Started to get up. I noticed there on one of them little shelves by that big desk, there was a gun there. I kicked that son of a bitch on the shins as I was coming up, rolled over and grabbed that gun, cocked that son of a bitch and pulled the trigger, and all it did went click. I was going to shoot that son of a bitch. After all the shit they done to me, you goddamn right. And I figured I was justified in it, even though you and I both know they'd have turned the fucking tables around on that one. Just like they always have, and they still do. So I let the gun fall in my finger. I said, "You want this useless piece of shit back? You would have shot me. Fucking hell, I'd have shot you. You son of a bitches. You're cold-hearted and nothing but a damn rabid dog that just needs to be put down. And one of these days, I'm gonna get you. Just so you know. Keep fucking with me. I've had enough of your shit. I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of shit. But I'm gonna live long enough to get a piece of your ass, and I'm gonna lunch on it all fucking day long. Slowly." He looked like he was amused. He was excited that I grabbed for that gun. He took the gun and laid it up on the desk. He said, "You think I'd leave a loaded gun in here with you?" I said, "That's because you're chicken shit. You know I can't overpower you. Yet. But I'm getting stronger every day. And one of these days, I'm going to get you." So, he proceeded to tell me to stand and have a seat there on that chair they was going to strap me in. And behind the divider there, that room is divided. Normally it was open, but they had pulled the divider across there, and the other rats were hiding behind the blind there, waiting to see what's going to happen. So they slowly come walking out with these cheesy fucking grins. Looked like a goddamn cat that just ate the mouse. We knew what you was going to do. Well, I'm glad you knew, because I had no damn clue. I was just reacting to an action. But one of these days, y'all can be so lucky. I only have to be lucky one time. Every time you get within my vicinity, you have to be lucky. Every second. I only got to be lucky once. Y'all are probably really disgusted that I haven't used my mind to throw something at you. And just so you know, I'm getting faster at it and better at it. I'm getting more accurate. And my temper's growing. Every day. When I see you people, it makes my blood just boil. But you know something? I have a goal. My goal is someday that I'll find somebody I care about. Maybe I'll have a family, if I'm lucky, or I live long enough. You son of a bitches don't trash me or kill me first. That's why I haven't tried anything with you. I know whatever I do could get me deep sick, killed, or left in the lab, and I sure in hell don't want to live there anymore. I lived there long enough. Kind of like it out here in the real world, even though I'm restricted on a lot of things. And y'all make damn sure of it. Don't think that I don't know. I've read you guys every time I've come here. Every day I come here, I'm reading you guys. Figuring you out. Just so you know, whatever thought you have, not only do I feel it, I see it. And I keep it right here. Just so you know. Well, I guess it's time to strap you in. Looked like it. I said, why the fuck do y'all keep me waiting out there in the lobby? Is that just another form of torture? If it is, you're doing a damn good job with it. I had to wait for a little bit and think about this. Then I had to try and walk the fucking Green Mile to see what kind of bullshit you guys are going to pull on me today. So let's get this shit over with. They strapped me in, strapped my arms down, my legs down, strapped my head back. Then they strapped my chest down. I turned my hands from palm down to palm up. And they went through the ritual, wiping with alcohol. Hell, as much alcohol as they used, I should have been stuffed and mounted like a damn deer head. Felt like I'd already been embalmed before I'd had all the blood drawn out. But they wiped all 10 fingers. And again, they started with my thumb. And they grabbed the thumb like this and squeezed that son of a bitch until that red appears on the end there. They got that little razor blade thing, and I think the son of a bitch doing it would have never ever made it back in the caveman days if that son of a bitch had to throw a spear, because she poked that son of a bitch in there and then like she was wiggle and twist that son of a bitch. As soon as she removed it, the other one had a little test tube looking thing and had a red stopper. She pulled that red stopper out and she had wrote on it. Stuck that so much up on my thumb and she pulled that metal thing, that poker out. That vial started filling up. And she just kept milking that so much like it was a tit. Till that was full. Then this other lady grabbed a Band-Aid and come over there and slapped that Band-Aid on there and pressed her down. That really felt good. Then they started with the rest of my fingers, one by one, stabbing and milking, covering them with Band-Aid. Now, my fingers has always been a lot tougher than my feet. My feet are real sensitive. They pulled my cowboy boots off, set them down there by the chair, took my socks off, wiped my toes with the damn alcohol, started with them. And I don't care how many times it's been done, I still flinched. And they'd, of course, give me a good cussing and a good stern talking to, and it was just like shit. I let it go in one ear and right on out the other, knowing that one of these days I was going to get even. So when they'd done, they leaned the chair back a little bit more, where I was damn near almost flat. They said, "You feeling okay?" I said, "The same, you ask me this shit every day. Same shit, same answer, just different day. I feel weak, I feel tired, and I hurt. Now you fucking happy? Does it get your jollies or what?" They didn't say anything. They started writing down their little fucking pamphlet thing there, little notepad deal. Well, you seem more agitated today than you have been in a long time. But you goddamn right I'm agitated. I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired of hurting. I'm tired of kissing ass. I'm just tired of it all. I said, you ever figure out what you wanted to know? You guys don't tell me shit. You just do this Monday through Friday. Come rain, snow, shine, just like the fucking mail. Getting tired of it. Tired of living in pain. I never get a chance to heal from you assholes doing this shit. I don't know why you just don't drain you out enough that you only have to do it once every 2 weeks. Then again, I'd probably get out of the practice of coming here, and that would hurt even worse, probably. So are we fucking done? Well, you gotta drink this glass of orange juice. Did you put anything in it? Did you spit in it? But you all motherfuckers have been known to put Mickey in the fucking glass. Better not be shit in that glass, because this is all you're getting today. If it's up to me, I wouldn't be coming back here no more. But I don't have a choice, do I? No, you sure don't. That's what can I ask, what the fuck you been looking for all the time? Now these bastards had the audacity to tell me, oh, we're just checking to make sure you ain't a dwarf. I found out years later that didn't have you check for dwarfism. And yes, there is, on my dad's side, there is a few dwarfs over there. And they're real tiny. They're good people. Well, like I said, years later I found out that ain't the way you test for that. So that was just one more of their damn lies. So I sat there for a good little bit, trying to keep the room from spinning. Finally, I mustered up enough strength, and I said, okay, I'm ready to blow this joint. So they undone the straps. Now this time, they decided to help me up off that chair and make sure I wasn't going to plop in the floor, which like they pretend to give a shit. They didn't care about me. All they wanted was that blood. Who knows what the hell they was doing with it? I'll never probably ever know. But I make my way to the door and saunter down the hallway. Fingers and toes all covered up with band-aids. I was starting to get older, and I was starting to get more of an attitude. Looked over, and there Mom was, sitting there reading one of them fucking Better Homes and Gardens, like, you fucking ready? Well, ain't you just a bear today? I said, I wouldn't advise you to say nothing to me. Well, how'd it go? I said, I damn near shot one of them bastards. The only was the gun was empty. So, she put the book down, gets up. We go past the counter, and that son of a bitch and snake behind the counter smiled and, have a good day. Well, I give her the good old American wave, all right. One finger wave. As I walked out that door. Got to the car, and I got in, and Mom went to the driver's side and got in. She goes, well, do you want to go see your cousins? I said, you want to go pluck chickens? Well, I guess we'll just go on home. I'll come for another day and see my family. Good fucking deal. So we go home. I go into my room and climb into bed, and I'm laying there because I'm just friggin' drained. Later on, about an hour or two, Mom hollered and wanted to know if I wanted supper. So I drug my carcass out of bed and went in and sat at the table with head in my hand, and I was just beat. Ate my supper and got done, and I went back in and laid on the bed. Well, next morning got up, got dressed for school. While I was in the bathroom, heard talking in the kitchen, so I heard him got done and headed down the hallway to see who was talking. There was two guys, they was there to pick me up. I was going back to the projects. Well, wasn't no use taking books for school. So, said my goodbyes. Followed them out to the car. Got in the car. We headed out. They took the same road they always did. They went up the highway just about a block and a half, turned onto the side road, and took the back way, heading kind of a east by northeast, till we got out where there wasn't no houses, no cars, and they opened the portal up, and us in the car went through the portal, ended up back at there, Long Island. It was similar, you know. Sometimes they'd take you out of a bathroom and open a portal in the bathroom, but sometimes had to do it a different way. It always wound up the same place. They decided that after me getting a little bit of rest and them loading me up with sugar, made me kind of feel better. I felt kind of a little Sprite. So they brought me in some movie reels and was getting me prepped for the next day for a trip to a portal where they was going to send me. So I'm sitting there, drinking my soda, smoking a cigarette. They was showing me the film, and when the film was done, the reel-to-reel, they brought in this, looked like a hanger, but it had plastic all the way down the garb. Then they brought in this box, pretty good sized box. Sat down, they said everything you'll need to be right here, so tomorrow morning when you get up, you put the outfit there on, and in that box, there's shoes and a hat in there. Okay. Now, you used to be kind of scared when they do this, but after a while you get used to it. You get to where you don't have no fear. You just hope for the best. So come the next morning, I got the hanger out, it had the clothes in it. Well, I put the clothes on. Opened the box up, pair of boots, put them on. Looked in there and grabbed a hat, put it on. Well, heard the door buzz. there was I call him an attending lady there in a suit, and it was like a top and a skirt, only went just above her knees. I don't know how in the hell she's walking in them goddamn heels, but she was stepping like a peacock. And there was 2 guards with her. She goes, "You ready?" "Ready as I'll ever be." She goes, "Where's the hat?" "I said, "Right over there." She goes, "Well, put it on." So I put it on. She goes, "Yep, that'll do." She goes, "If I got a question." She's walking toward me, and I'm sitting there. I was like, "What's the question?" She reaches down, pulls my pants open, and she goes, "We're going to give you a few minutes." "You can't wear underwear." "I thought you used to going without underwear. What the hell's wrong with you?" She goes, "I don't think they're going to like it." I said, "I don't give a shit what they like. I ain't going commando. Bring me some underwear from that period of time, I guess." She goes, "Well, we're just going to hope for the best." But she said, "The next time, we'll make sure I said, "Yeah, just make sure you put everything in there I need, including underwear." She just kind of cackled, and we headed down the hallway to the elevator and went down into the couple of floors down. They opened up the door, and I walked into that room, which I'd become familiar with. It was like looking at the back of my hand. Walked in, and they got the stethoscope out, listened to my heart. They checked my blood pressure, took my temperature. Then they told me to get in a chair, and I stepped up into the chair. They leaned her back a little bit. I said, "It's kind of hard sitting in this chair with that back on that thing and that hat." Oh, yeah, we'll just set that on your chest." So they laid the hat on my chest, and I laid there, and while I was waiting, they played some weird-ass fucking music. Sounded like something you'd hear during World War II, some kind of opera bullshit. But I was laying there just trying to go to an altered state. They dimmed the lights, and I was watching them in the window there to the right side of me. And I seen them over there fidgeting around with this gadget, fidgeting around with that gadget, checking this gauge, and warming things up. Hopefully it wouldn't be a bumpy ride. Then I seen the same lady in there, and she had thumbs up. I just nodded my head like, okay. Then she started like this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The light went dark in there. Heard the machines kicking up. They was throwing the power to her, and next thing you know, I was off. I was going through that portal tunnel. It's like a spiral of clouds with flickers of light, and you see branches passing you by. You're going through there at faster than the speed of light, but it don't seem like you are. It ain't just a few seconds, but it seems like it's about 20 to 30 minutes. Then I come to the end, and it was like a sudden stop, which kind of jolts you a little bit, like kind of like a whiplash, but a little bit gentler. I looked around, didn't see anybody, so I stepped out. The portal receded into nothingness, but I could tell it was still there. It just went into invisible. So I'm like, I wonder where the fuck I'm at now. I see this horse and cart go by. Now, I mean, other than my hands, I couldn't see my face. I pulled my hat down and stepped onto the trail, and they didn't really tell me much of anything. So I'm walking along. Very well, the road's got to take me someplace. So I'm walking and walking, and I'm not even sure what time of the day it is. I know the sun's up high. Hadn't seen anybody, so I kept walking. And after several hours, it started getting dark, and up ahead I seen a barn. So I watched for a little bit, and I didn't see nobody. So I snuck my way to the barn and opened the door and went in. And there were a couple cows in there eating. Looked like they'd just been milked. So I climb up into the loft. Nice big pile of straw in there, loose straw. I'm looking around, make sure there ain't no coons or snakes or anything. I made myself at home. I fell asleep. Well, I guess shouldn't say fell asleep. It was a self-induced sleep that these assholes were putting me in. Kind of like the way you shut a trailer truck down, from the office. Nowadays, they got them trucks, after whatever hours you're allotted, 8 hours, you don't pull over, you only got so many more minutes before they shut that damn truck down. Or they give you a call, how come you ain't shutting that truck down? I fell asleep, got some frequencies that they was sending. Well, I found out where I was at. Wasn't the place I really cared to be. Because I was going to stick out like a sore thumb. They proceeded to tell me that what I was going to be searching for. Which I figured would be pretty easy to find. It must be pretty good size. They gave me all the information I need. I found out I wasn't in the United States no more. I was south of the border. Hell of a place for a gringo to be. What they sent me there for, they had read that there was actual portals. Something you could pick up and transfer. And they can call them whatever you want to call them. But basically it's just a machine that was really ancient. And you could jump through it, go back in time, go into other realms. So, that was going to be my job, was to locate that thing, take mental images of it, and what I would be seeing and describing to myself via this frickin' chip they put in. It was like a recorder. Anything that I seen, felt, smelled, tasted, they would get the information and be jotting that down like they always did. Probably some little pencil dick in there doing all the pencil writing. So my first few hours went okay there. Like I said, I fell asleep, got up. I was given the direction to head, so I headed southwest. Man, oh man. There wasn't a whole lot of white people down there at that time. But I had a job to do. I had to locate it and send the information back. And then sit and wait and see what they wanted me to do. And all this time, I got to try to blend in. Well, you know how hard it is to blend in a white mouse with a whole bunch of black mice? That's about a fucking joke. So, I seen off in the distance a village. Well, I was dressed the part. So I moseyed on into town. I got some of the damnedest looks. I didn't look like none of them, no matter how hard I tried. They was speaking stuff that I could just barely understand. Most times it was just a nod or I don't know, just kind of go with the flow. I'm taking all this in. Everybody's watching me. I'm watching them. Because back in those days, back in the 1800s, they'd behead you. So I'm trying not to do nothing stupid, nothing to warrant them to come after me. Well, I seen a guy at the end of the street there at the livery stable, so I thought I'd go down and maybe strike a conversation. I'm telling you, when I opened the door and seen that guy was huge. Big son of a bitch. He asked me, he said, "Little one, what can I do for you?" I said, "I'm just trying to get out of the sun. Mind if I sit here and watch?" "No. Pull you up one of them there logs there and have a seat." "You ain't lost, are you?" Like, no. He just kind of laughed. I was glad he spoke English. He said, "Hungry?" "Well, yeah, a little bit. I'll tell you what, I got a stall over there that needs to be cleaned. What do you say we go to the canteen and I'll grab me a bottle of mezcal and whatever you want and see if we can get us something to eat?" Well, I thought that was a pretty good plan. I'd kind of think maybe found a friend, at least for the time being. So he goes to the horse trough and he washes his hands and his face, and I followed suit, washed my face and hands, and he tossed me an old rag after he dried his hands and face off. And I did the same. He goes, he said, "I've noticed something about you." He said, "I'm pretty observant." I was like, "Oh, shit." He goes, for somebody that's been wandering south of the border, your hat sure is clean. I said, well, I'm mighty proud of that hat. He just kind of laughed, and he said, well, just as long as you know that I know, and these other people probably take notice. He goes, just words of the wise. He said, now I'll tell you, when we go into the canteen, anything happens in there, you just sit at the table. You don't see nothing, you don't hear nothing. And he said, we'll eat in peace. Works for me. So we walked past a line of horses there. It was tied up at the hitching post. And goes in, he got his hand on my shoulder, and he's speaking in Spanish, and I understand a little bit of it, but he was speaking like a slang, and real fast, like he was a racehorse speaking. And there in the corner, by the window there was a round table. 4 chairs sitting around it, so he motioned we can go back there and sit. So I walked on back and pulled me a chair out and sat down. He put his back to the wall and was sitting there leaning in the corner. He goes, their food's pretty good here. They get a little wicked with the pepper, but you don't mind hot pepper, do you? I was like, no. He said, well, that'd be in the food. Their food's a little spicy, but it's good. He said, but it'd make you a little gassy. Hell, that's fine with me. I ain't kidding you. I think they whipped up a meal fit for a president. They brought all the trimmings. There were tomatoes and onions and peppers and some kind of fried meat. To me, my meal of today, when my wife makes tacos. Taco salad. Well, they started carrying this shit to the table, and he's refined a little bit. He's using a glass, drinking mezcal. When they set that food down, dude, I went hog wild. That shit was hot, but it was good. Don't get real cuisine like that anymore. That was some good. I don't even know what to call it, but it was good shit. I sat there and watched him. This guy ate enough for 3 grown men. I think somebody's part bear. We got done eating and watching the senoritas walk around and talking, and he hollered at one, and they come over there, and he asked what the damage was, and they told him, and he handed out some coins, and we thanked them, and we left. So we got back to the blacksmith shop, and I said, I never did ask you what your name was. He said, well, I've been called a lot of things, especially when I screw up things. I said, well, what was your given name? He said, I don't use that. So why is that? He goes, well, just a lot of near misses over a misunderstanding. I said, well, then what do you call yourself? He said, well, you can call me Juan. That works for me. He goes, and your name? I said, Henry. He said, so, Henry, where are you really from? And I thought about it, and I thought, well, Texas. Sounded good to me. because my town probably didn't exist back in those days. He goes, "You like Texas? It's a good place as any." He said, "So what are you doing here?" And I thought, well, should I tell him? He goes, "I bet you're looking for something, aren't you?" "Yes, sir." He goes, "Tonight, you'll stay with me and my wife. We'll talk more about it." He said, "I think you got a lot to say." Yeah, more than I'd ever care to tell. So we got done that day, and he went and got the mule out, hooked him up to a cart, and we went about 6 miles out of town. There was a nice little spread out there, and a nice little cabin. It was a 4-room house. There was 3 rooms downstairs and one big giant room upstairs, and that's where him and his wife slept. We was sitting out there on the veranda, and he goes, "Finish our conversation." "Okay. So what are you looking for?" I said, "Well, this is probably going to sound crazy as hell, but here it goes. I'm looking for something that's a mystery. Means something of great power. Yeah, have you heard of anything like that around here?" And he goes, "Oh, I hear it talk all the time." He goes, "But I hear, not far from here, there's a place out there in the desert." And he said, "They claim there's a big ring. They see all kinds of weird shit go into that thing and come out of it." But he said, "It's huge." He said, "Well, you could probably get 2 covered wagons side by side through that thing. Sometimes some things that goes in don't come out till days later." I said, "Do you think you could show me that?" He goes, "Are you really from this time?" "Well, I guess I gotta trust you, because what are you gonna do, kill me in my sleep?" "No, I'm not from this time." I said, "I'd like to go see it." He goes, "Well, you ain't up there, are you?" "Oh, hell no. Nope, just from a different time and place." He goes, "That's why your hat wasn't dirty, wasn't it?" "Yeah." "What's it like where you're from?" "It's a lot different than here." I said, "But be honest with you, I'd rather stay here than go back, but I don't have a choice. They'll pull me back." I said, "But I can tell you this much. This area is pretty familiar to me." That's all I ever care to say about it, Juan. That's okay. Fine by me. He said, "You ain't gonna kill us in our sleep, are you?" "Hell no, you ain't gonna kill me in my sleep, are you?" I said, "I really just got sent here to see this thing, and I'll be gone." He goes, "You ever come back?" "You never know, but if I do, I'll look you up." He said, "You think I can make it in your time?" I said, "Trust me, you don't want to go to my time. You think these times are bad? Ain't nothing compared to where I'm from. People don't care about each other. They all out for themselves and how much money they can make and outdo the Joneses. It's better here where you're at, actually. Even though you don't have the technology we have, you're still better here. I wish I could just stay here and cut ties with those assholes, but I ain't got no choice." So the next day, bright and early, he kisses the wife goodbye, and we head out, rode to these mountains, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of them right at the moment. We rode up there, and there were some real tight passes. We rode through there as far as we could, and the whole time we was going upward. God damn, it was hot. But we trudged on and got to a point where couldn't go any further. He said, well, the next mile we gotta go on foot. Sounds good to me. So he tied the horse up there. It's an old hitching post. Don't know who put it there, but hell, it must have been there for eons. So we headed up that canyon pass, and it wasn't too awful bad walking. I mean, it was manageable. But you was still going up. Got damn near to the destination, and there was these two big, huge, tall, look like cylindrical type rocks, jagged and red looking. We passed through those and got up to the top of that big cliff looking mountain deal. And there was an even tinier path, and you really had to hug the wall. That other side was about 200 or 300 foot drop straight down into rock. So we hugging the wall, and before we got started, he said, "You ain't scared of heights, are you?" I said, "Nope, as long as I don't look down." He just kind of chuckled, and he goes, "For a fat old man, I can hug these walls just like that damn mule." So he'd go ahead, and I'd follow him. That was a place I did not want to fall. Come to this, looked like a V in the rock there. Stepped in it, and it opened up to a great big huge room. And there it was. It was huge. Big, round. It had like a table, a platform. You walked up 3 steps, and then all of a sudden this thing would start vibrating, lighting up, and it looked like water. Juan reached down, picked up a pebble, and he goes, "Watch this." He threw that pebble through there, and he goes, "You might want to kind of stand back." We sat there for a few minutes, waited, and all of a sudden, hear it sound like something whistling through the wind. All of a sudden, here come that pebble back out of there. He goes, "That's why I told you to stand aside." He said, "Throw something in there, it takes a little bit, and it comes right back." So, he goes, "They have a name for this," and he said it in Spanish, but I couldn't remember it. I said, "So this is the Stargate." And he goes, "That's what my people tell me. Nobody knows how it got here or who put it here. It's just always been here." I said, "You ever stepped in it?" He goes, "No. He's my wife. She wouldn't let me do nothing like that." And he said, "Besides that, she's a good wife. I don't want to lose her just to step through this damn thing." I said, "Well, guess we better head back." I was looking this thing over real good, sending frequency message back about what I was seeing, feeling. They done knew now, because I was there, they knew where it was at because of tracking me. They took all the coordinates down, and I went back to Juan's house. His wife had supper on, so we sat there and ate and shot the shit. When she got done washing up everything, she come out there and sit on the veranda. He goes, kind of winked at me and said, "Well, so when you going to be departing?" Don't know yet. He goes, well, we had a fiesta. Now it's time for a siesta. I guess if I wake up and you're still here, we'll talk more. If not, it's been good knowing you. And his wife just kind of looked at him like, what the hell are you talking about? He patted her on the butt and told her, he said, come on, let's go to bed. Well, I thought I'd sat there for a little while longer and just stare at the stars. Next thing you know, I kind of started dozing off a little bit there on the veranda. Got the buzz, and that was my call to come home. So I walked out off the porch. Stood there for a minute looking at that cabin, thinking about those two in there asleep. How they took a stranger in. They had no clue who he was. Took him in, fed him, let him sleep in their home. I've yet to meet people like that in this time. It was a simpler time back then. And I sat there, burning that image into my head, and burning the image of those two people that took a stranger in. Treated me like I was like family. That's something I always wanted. Now let me tell you something, I'll tell you straight up. I was pretty damn tempted to just say screw the projects and stay right there. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I found my own wife. But those times they were great. Never seen Juan after that, or his wife. Years later, I did go out in that area. I was taken to a little cabin. Of course, by then it was just a rundown piece of a shelter. Nothing like it was when I had seen it last. And I stood there for a while and remembering their voices and their faces, the way the house looked back then. It saddened me, but I knew they was better off where they was at. Had I thought that things could have been better, I would have brought them back with me. They actually treated me like family, something I'd always wanted. But it'd be kind of strange taking somebody back from that time and throwing them into this new world we live in. It just didn't seem right. I've never had friends like that. They were good people. So Juan and the missus, if you're listening, you all left a mark on my heart, just so you know. Hope you're resting in peace. If you're around, I hope you're all good and happy and in good health. Well, sometimes I sat back and wondered if I'd have stayed longer if he'd tried to turn me into a blacksmith. Guess we'll never really know. I never got to go back to see him. But I will tell you this. That Stargate stayed there. And it was always being monitored by my handlers. And if you know anything about what's going on in the world, what's been going on, you know about the United States having problems with Mexico just here a while back. supposedly the cartels. That was just a way for them to get their foot in there and say, hey, we need a base down here. Get it? That way they could take control over the Stargate. That's really what it was about. Just so you know. Well, it's been many years since then. I still think about Juan and his wife, the missus. But I had no choices. So, I guess the moral to the story, besides the projects and the shit that I was involved with, is on this story is it did truly happen. Is that a man and a woman took a young boy in that wasn't even Spanish and made him feel welcomed in their home, give him a place to lay his head, fed him, treat him like family. Didn't even know him. I'm still amazed by that. Well, this is Henry. I'll say goodnight for now. Till the next time. Y'all stay safe. If you like anything I've said, like this section here, give me a thumbs up. Hell, leave me a message. I'll read them. I'll answer them. Y'all take care, and I'll see you on the next one. This is Henry, saying goodnight. Y'all stay safe.